What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and we're here to talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus. And there's been a bunch of leaks to show up, some new translations, and some speculation I want to discuss with everyone here today. The first thing I want to talk about is what I talked about in the original trailer that I did with the starters and how they're going to represent different facets of Japan. We have Typhlosion, which didn't really fit the mold. I was assuming it was Mount Fuji because Mount Fuji used to erupt a lot, and you know how Samurai is a samurai and Decidueye is an archer, so those two made sense for Japanese culture. And but Typhlosion didn't really fit in with this warrior aspect because it was being a volcano. But then we looked at its Japanese name, and its Japanese name is Bakufu, right? And which is really similar to the word shogunate in Japanese, which is Bakufun, which means shogun. I think we're gonna have an archer, samurai, and shogunate is how these starters are really handled in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which really leads into translations from the leaks, which I'm really excited to talk about here. So these leaks were translated by Eclipse and Starmie over on Twitter, so shout out to them. I just wanted to review what they were saying. So what they're saying is story should take place about 150 years ago, citing both the end of the Endo era and the beginning of the Meijing period, before ideas such as being a trainer or gyms have ever existed. So this does make sense that this is still a feudal Japan type of vibe to it, and it makes sense with these starters that we're getting and how they're relating to sort of a feudal Japan warring states era, where we're getting, the samurai, the archer, and the shogunate. We set this new adventure in an ancient Sinnoh region where people from all over the world have settled in a certain village to explore this new land. This time the goal is to catch all the Pokemon in order to create the very first Sinnoh Pokedex, which, as what we see here, is these sketch drawings from the trailer. And what it seems to us is that we, the player, are actually going to be drawing the Pokemon in here. As you can see with the sketchbook decks at the beginning of the trailer, you can see the starters being drawn. So it seems like whenever we capture a Pokemon, we're going to be the ones actually drawing the Pokemon in there. So I think it's going to be very cool from an art perspective. The website also seems to show that there are no abilities for any of the Pokemon. As we can see with the starters, that they list all their stats and their typings, but they don't list any abilities. So this game probably has no abilities, which really determines to me that this will be a single player only Pokemon game with no multiplayer aspects. There were two leaked images that came from pre-release information that came from 4chan. And one of these images showed off the field trainer and what they can do. It's really highlighting rolling escapes, hiding, and catching. Seems like how we are going to interact with the Pokemon. For me, rolling escapes definitely confirms that Pokemon will be able to attack us, and we may have some sort of HP bar. And I think Pokemon will be able to attack us within battles as well. We'll get into that more later. And then field Pokemon, there's going to be high speed, mount climbing, gliding, and flying. So this is very similar to other Pokemon games where you can get like a mount. When we look at these images, the Pokemon are blacked out, like they're silhouetted, right? So the high speed one looks like a deer, and I'm thinking it's either a Stantler or a Sawsbuck. However, it could be a brand new Pokemon. We really don't know. The antlers on this new Pokemon does not really match up to a Stantler or a Sawsbuck. So I'm thinking potential new Pokemon or new form of an existing Pokemon already. And then we got this flying type Pokemon, which it really could be a lot of things. And I think it could be a Trumpek, honestly, what it sort of looks like to me. But it could be another new Pokemon. We don't know. It could also just be a black silhouette, but we really don't know. And the climbing image, to me, looks like a trainer. However, other people have been thinking that that could be a Nuzleaf as well that you're climbing on. But I don't really buy too much into it. I sort of think that is a silhouette of a trainer climbing. There's also the second leak, which we discussed last time, but now it's been translated, and it is confirmed that there is a seamless battle system in the game. As we already saw in the trailer, that there is no load screen when you're engaged in a battle. However, it is not a traditional battle system. Yes, you do get to pick your 4 moves like in regular Pokemon. However, it seems to be based off an ATB gauge, which stands for Active Time Battle Gauge System. This is very similar to systems found in like a Final Fantasy game or some other JRPG. And different characters will have different ATB gauges. So in an instance, let's say a Rhydon, pretty slow Pokemon, has an ATB gauge, while you're facing a fast Pokemon like a Jolteon, which also has their own gauge, right? Since a Jolteon is faster than a Rhydon, their gauge will fill up faster, which means they can get more attacks off. then you're right on. So I think that's how they're going to determine speed in this game. And I think it'll be really interesting for them to change the battle system, that to give faster Pokemon more ability in that sense and make them more versatile than just attacking first. Personally, I think that could be really OP. However, this is a single player focused game. So I think that is actually okay. And I'm sure they'll find different ways to actually balance this all out. And because this is an active time battle system, this means that Pokemon can, while we're deciding to make an attack, Pokemon can just decide attack us. So like we're picking through our 4 moves and then they can just attack us. And in battle, it seems like a trainer has the ability to fight, catch, run away, and dodge roll, right? So to me, it seems like an opponent's Pokemon or a wild Pokemon can hit us and our Pokemon as well. I can only assume that if they can hit us, we have to be able to take damage, because then what would the point be? So I think that'd be really interesting to see how all that actually ends up working. There is some speculation that in combat, you'll be able to ride a Pokemon, because on the left and right side of the screen here, you can see that essentially a Pokemon has a high speed function that you can potentially jump on and maybe dodge. And this is showing up in the combat screen. So what this could mean is, let's say you have like that deer Pokemon with you, you can jump on its back, run away. And then the icon on the right seems to actually turn yellow whenever you're allowed to do that ability. So if we're in an open field, we can hit the button here, and then you'll be able to summon the high-speed Pokemon, ride and mount in the area. The right icon will change based on where we are and what we'll be able to allow to do in that specific situation, giving us the opportunity to use field Pokemon features, high speed, mountain climbing, gliding, and flying. If we are using one of these features, the icon will turn yellow. So we can see that it's yellow on the right side of the screen here, and here, and here. So seems like all of that's contextual, which makes me think, are these even Pokemon that we can necessarily capture, or are these abilities that we're going to be able to unlock throughout? These seems like great mechanics instead of actually Pokemon we're going to be getting. Also in these images, we can see the items. And I mentioned this last time that I was able to clearly see a citrus berry right here, but seems like we can see a citrus berry, some sort of Pokeball or a big ball. We don't really know, but it looks like a huge Pokeball. Maybe it's a timer or a heavy ball. And there's an ultra ball as well. So there's a lot of different balls going on here. So, which is pretty cool that there will be different types of balls, which I can assume that these will have the same requirements as the main game. So a heavy ball will work on something that's heavier. Side ball will work better on a water Pokemon. So that's cool that they still have the different Pokeball variants. So here's the most interesting picture from all the leaks. And this is the King boss battle image. As you can see, this yellow figure has a huge yellow life bar. And to me, this seems like this is going to be a mandatory boss fight or some sort of mini boss, probably used for progression in the game, or at the very least hiding something important. This does seem like not like any Pokemon we've ever seen before. So there's two things. This can either one be an attack animation that we're seeing that's very blurred out, very similar to the animations that we've been seeing for attacks in the trailer. So this could just be an animation. I sort of doubt this is a new Pokemon. However, it could be a new Pokemon. What I really think is it could be a Pokemon that is somehow story-wise invoking some sort of stand or some projection of itself that we are fighting, some sort of monstrous evil version of itself that we're trying to attack and purify the Pokemon. And then with that, we'll probably unlock a new area, some new mechanic, and who knows, there could be 8 of these to replace gyms in the game, since this does take place 150 years before all the events of the Sinnoh region. Last but not least is this book we're seeing, right? Which is the book of the Sinnoh region. However, we have to denote that the title of the game is Pokemon Legends: Arceus, right? So we have to assume that these different books are different regions that will potentially go in the future. So I could see a Pokemon Legends Mewtwo one day. I can see a Pokemon Legends Rayquaza one day. I can see a Pokemon Legend any generation you want to put in there. So I think Legends has a lot going on for it, and potentially if this game is very successful, which it probably would be because it is a Pokemon title, there could be easily 7 other titles within this. If Gen 9 doesn't come out, Gen 9 does come out, then hey, there's 8 more we could possibly make out of this. So a lot of interest going on into the Legends Arceus. I'm super excited for this game, and yeah, I'm gonna be covering any more leaks or predictions or anything else that I come across. So keep it here, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time with more Pokemon action.